Okay.
How many's having really, really bad weather back home? If guys were having a hard time. All right. Is this still coming down, or there's a second wave of storms?
12 inches.
I heard some places like around DC.
That's where I'm at.
Like 16 inches. Is that?
We got 12.
Wow.
I don't think you got enough stuff on that laptop.
Oh my gosh, man, that screen would drive me nuts.
That might be why it's taking a while.
It's called file folders.
We're getting there. I apologize. My computer decided to do an update.
There we go. So how far did you run today?
They have a wing it.
How many miles did you run today, Carlos?
Sitting there.
500.
Can everybody see that okay? The fonts, lettering, fine in the back. Nod, raise hand, throw water at me. All right, great. I'm Carlos Gonzales. For those that don't know me, I own a company called New Look Power Wash in Northern California, and we are entering our, I think, our 19th year doing pressure washing services. And on top of that, about 7 years ago, we launched a soap line called Enviro Bio Cleaner. And when I'm not busy, or when I have free extra time, I come to events like this and speak on things that, from a small business standpoint, or small business owner standpoint, we often hear when we attend these type of conferences all the glitter, all the good things that are happening in the industry, or all the good things that are happening to contractors in the industry. How many here are on Facebook pretty regularly on the pressure washing friends, pressure washing groups throughout Facebook, where we kind of bounce around to all the different groups and kind of show our before and after pictures and compare our work to other people's work, and we ask questions. So we're all part of a unique group ever since social media has taken over the medium of passing on information. And over the last few years, we've seen a tremendous shift in the industry on a lot of different subjects. The information is readily available to us with a click of a mouse, versus back in the days, and I'm sure Scott Stone, Guy Blackman, and a few of the veterans here will nod in agreement, where we had the BBSs, or the bulletin boards, where we logged in with our dial-up modem, and that's how we got our information. So a lot of things have happened in the industry, a lot of it good, some of it bad. And instead of talking about all the good stuff that's going on in the industry, I'm the guy that raised a hand and said, you know what, I'm gonna talk about the bad stuff. And why we as business owners or entrepreneurs that happen to own a business, where we sit back and we watch all this static that goes on daily and nightly on our favorite groups on Facebook, where we see contractors like us talking about all this money that we're making, or they're making, and trainers popping out of the woodwork in the industry. All these new soaps, including EBC, are being introduced on a daily basis and marketed and pushed in front of you to use. You have to use this. And then you as a contractor, when you ask the basic questions, well, what does it do? Oh, I'm sorry. I rely on this guy way too much. He says about that so many conferences where things go haywire for me. So thanks, Rob. So when you ask those questions, when you ask those questions on Facebook, expecting to get an authentic and true answer, you get your ass chewed out.
Or a lot of bullshit.
And you're being pushed and kind of maneuvered, depending on which group you're on, and we'll get into that further into the slide. You're getting maneuvered and convinced that this is the way to go. And the conversation lasts for days and days, where it turns out to be 300, 400 comments on a basic question: how do I clean a dumpster pad? So we're going to touch base a little bit on that, not so much to point fingers in the industry or to name names, but to kind of paint a picture of where this industry is today. And then a lot of times when we talk about trainers and people teaching or educating, we're the first to raise our hand and ask, well, what qualifications do you bring to the table to be a trainer? So what I'm going to do today is we're going to look within your business and kind of pick apart some of the things that you failed at as a business owner. And instead of getting on Facebook and pointing the finger at a trainer that may or may not have the credentials and blaming them on your pitfalls, we're going to kind of hit the rubber, make the rubber hit the road, for lack of a better term, and we're going to put out today some things that maybe you as a business owner are screwing up on, and you're not ready for growth yet, because you have some stuff within your walls that you need to take care of first. So we're going to cover kind of a broad spectrum of things like that. And again, like I said, not to point any fingers, not to name names or anything. We're not here to crucify any particular org, any group, or any trainer, or any soap. It's just more of a reality check of where the industry is today. So, we have failed. Now what? That's kind of the nucleus of the topic that I came up with when Paul asked me to, what are you going to speak on? Well, I don't want to speak about soap. And I don't want to speak about something else that, I've already presented. So I thought this would be a good subject, because 2019, we're all on the launch pad. We're all ready for a new season. You're here to kind of gather information, maybe buy some new products, buy some equipment, get your batteries kind of charged up again, get ready for the start line, and make a run at it. So what are we going to accomplish today? To be twofold. We're going to establish and affirm where we, meaning you, are at today as an entrepreneur that owns a business. And number two, after we identify where you're at, we're going to present some actionable items or steps for you to close the gap and becoming a better built machine or business owner. Fair enough? Nods. If you fall asleep, feel free to do so. Just please don't snore. If you have to get up, stretch, whatever, run around the block, that's fine. Okay? One other thing too, if you have a question, raise your hand. I am hearing impaired. I wear this machine in my left ear that's supposed to let me hear a little bit better, but sometimes it doesn't work. So if you do raise your hand, I'll come to you. I'll probably get real close, pick up your question. But feel free to ask questions. Let's not sugarcoat this. A lot of times, as a business owner or an entrepreneur that owns a business, some of the proclivities or issues that we deal with on an ongoing basis is that we can't keep employees That's a common question. Why can't I keep employees? People post on Facebook. You know, I got 10 interviews today and none of them qualified. 8 of them didn't show up. One of them was on leave, and the other one, yeah, he might be someone that I might hire. My systems are not complete. You attend all the conventions and trainings to learn from these trainers that supposedly have millions and millions and millions of dollars stashed away because they're successful, and you try to implement the things that they taught you on, and still nothing. You're stuck. You're dead in the water. You go back home and you half-heartedly put in the effort to do exactly what Trainer A told you to do, and then 3 months later, you're on Facebook saying I'm stuck or complaining. Nobody really wants to help. How many people here, I use Facebook a lot, and I'm not picking on Facebook, it just happens to be the center point where all of us throughout the country kind of congregate. But how many times when we post a question, we get a response from a colleague, you know, call me if you need help, or I'll be praying for you, or, you know, I wish you all the best. And that seems to be the boilerplate type of response that we get. And when you pick up the phone to call that contractor, because he offered it goes into voicemail, and you leave a message thanking him for assisting, or mentioning that you're going to assist me. Here's my problem. You leave the voicemail. 2 weeks later, they'll call back. Then you send a private message on Facebook. Hey, I left you a voicemail message. Remember 2 weeks ago I asked you about some help? I was wondering if you could help me out. Nothing. So quick to offer, but not so quick to follow up and actually provide that assistance. Lip service. Makes us look good on Facebook. I help. Right? Look how many post likes I have. I've helped this guy. But you still can't get to the next level. And that's what we're here for. We're here as business people to take our $50,000 gross salary or gross revenue that we make up to 75, or up to 100, or 150, 200, 500, million. There's people in this room right now that are doing 12 million a year, 10 million. So it is achievable. But for us little guys, and I put myself in that category because I'm a one-man show in California. I work 7 days a week, washing. And I can only do so many accounts a night before my body gives out. So I'm not in that $1 million he-man club that some of these guys are in. And I applaud them for reaching that level, but I'm not there. There's no way that, because I don't have any employees. I'm the guy out on the lawn. But I ask myself, how do I get from 220,000 up to 300? I just can't get there with my systems that are in place today. And I'm the first to raise my hand to say I'm at fault, because 10, 15 years ago, I did not take advantage of the assistance or the help of the individuals that went through that and applied it to my business. I refuse to hire an employee now. Why? Because I'm ready to retire. I want to get out of Washington. 19 years is enough for me. So I don't really want to spend the next 2 years trying to train someone. I'm ready to kind of pass the one on to just give it up and focus on EBC. So a lot of things that go on in our business that we tend to blame other people about. We're really quick to point the finger and say it's their fault. But today we're going to kind of go inside and figure out what's going on with you. And then you say to yourself, I'm doing everything right. I did exactly what he said. I spent $2,000 to go to his training. I recorded everything that he said. I took good notes. And I went home and I applied it for 1 week and it didn't work. Then you get on Facebook and blame the guy. Well, you had to give it a good shot. But that's the mentality of today. We want things quick and fast. There's a gentleman in this room right now, and I won't say I pick on him, but I kind of highlight him. He's a mentor of mine, whether he knows it or not, but he's a gentleman that has been in this industry for 30 plus years. And he's reached a point in his career where he really doesn't have to wash. It's 10 million, maybe a few million more, who knows? And I've studied him. I've watched and listened. And when I have questions, I know that I can call him, no matter what time of night, because I know he's out on jobs. Not actually doing them, but he's out driving around in his truck, checking on all his crews throughout Arizona. And it took him 30-some years to get to where he's at today. So when you see someone on Facebook saying, I'm doing $12 million a year, we as business owners say, I want that, right? Would you want $12 million bucks? Hell yeah. You're willing to invest 30 years of your life of non-stop constant growth? It's a tough answer. That's a tough question to answer. But we, society today, we want things really, really quick. We want to add water, stir, throw it in the microwave, hit 1 minute, open up the door, and everything in our life is perfect, right? Right?
That's right.
Right.
That's society. That's the way it is. Quick and fast. We don't want to roll up our sleeves and put the work in. Then we ask ourselves, my business is not growing like it should. And we often compare ourselves to our colleagues that maybe entered the pressure washing industry around the same time, and they're much further ahead. They have 3 rigs on the road, got 6 employees, they're on vacation twice a year, they're buying new rigs, buying new trucks, they're expanding their service area. And you're still stuck as a sole proprietor. You're still the banker, the internet guy or woman, the salesperson, the receptionist, the tech, the mechanic, the shopper. You're everything in one. And you have to do that every single day. How many people are in that position right now? Not you, Scott. Put your hand down.
Wait a minute. I am that.
And it's this constant evolution of madness circle every single day. Sun up to sundown. And then the family suffers. You don't have time for mom. Or the sons, or the daughters, or the wives, or the girlfriends, or the fiancés, or hunting time, or vacation time. It's all about washing. It's all about getting to that next level. But what we don't do is we don't get up in the morning, take a deep breath, and really, really look at ourselves in the mirror and ask ourselves, are we doing it right? We go right to Facebook, right to social media, and start pointing fingers. Then we get on Facebook, and the people start to try to tell you what to do. Some of them give good advice. Some of them not so good advice. And the advice that we take to heart is what fits our narrative. Well, that looks easy enough. I'll try that. Whatever happened to the word work? Rolling up your sleeves and not counting on the fancy soaps like EBC or any other soap out there, and actually rolling up your sleeves with a yellow tip nozzle and getting yourself dirty and wet.
Figure it out.
That's washing. Go back to basics. Then we attend trainings like this, where you spend an hour with trainers and all your problems go away. They promise you the world and under-deliver. Or if you buy into my program, you give me your credit cards and you slide your card for the first payment of $3,000. And we'll incrementally slide the card for, 3 or 4 months down the road for another 3. By the time you pay me $12,000, you'll be successful. It's in the industry, folks. It's happening right now.
Yeah, I almost signed up.
Right? It's happening right now.
Carl.
Yes, Guy, by all means, talk loud. By all means, talk
Not to
loud.
interrupt you, but what Carlos just said. Today, I started out 13 years ago, and the amount of information that's available now versus then is like prehistoric versus the Industrial Revolution. No time, and there's probably no industry that we have that has events like this that is giving this information out for the most part for free. And for one, I don't agree with it. Nothing against anyone that did that. I don't agree with it. Because I think that if you can go to an event like this, and you can have people that have been in this industry as long as a lot of people have, that are giving you solid information, and they're giving you the information, so what you do with it is up to you. You can piss it away and say, well, that's not going to work in my, I know that's not going to work. You're never going to implement it, but you're just going to go ahead and say because you own a business, I know my market, that's not going to work. The amount of free information you're getting right now is just completely baffling. It's wild. So I would take this time in this event to really understand that. And if you don't have a notepad, like I said, I've been doing this a while. I've got a notepad. I'd be writing this stuff down, and when you get home, sit down, decompress, start reading it. If something's not working in your business, you can call people you've met here, the people that have experience and stuff. But like Carlos said, there's a lot of people jumping up. I see this too, that they're the next guru and stuff like that. And I can tell you, probably a good 60% of them aren't. I'm not going to say names or anything like that. It's a circus. It's crazy. But just understand that you're very fortunate to be able to come to an event like this, and these ideas that are given, you can turn these ideas into thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars. As you build your business. So I just want to say you guys are fortunate, really fortunate.
And what Guy said, when we get into that position of being desperate, because this is it for some of us. The pressure washing business that we own, this is it. We're playing for keeps, so we get so desperate and frustrated where you're up at night, pacing back and forth in the house, trying to figure out, what am I doing wrong? What's happening here? I'm not making the money that I'm supposed to be making. How many feel that way right now? Few. Okay, there's a few of you. Be honest. So we in a state of panic, we reach out to the first rainbow that we see on Facebook, or the unicorn, or the guy that's sprinkling pixie dust on his business model, right? And he's packaging it for you and saying, for the next 72 hours, this can be yours for the low, low price of $1,899. That's just for a 2-hour interview with me on the phone. But because we're so desperate and we think we've tried everything, I'm going to give this a shot. So you call a guy up, first thing out of his mouth, well, I need your card number. We need to take care of this business first before we get into the actual discussion. So you reluctantly give him your expiration date, your zip code, and the security code on the back. He slides it. Little bells go off on your cell phone saying that your Cap One card has just been charged for $1,800. Now he goes into the belly dance routine. Come to find out, there's more behind curtain 2. He only gives you enough information for you to be kind of interested. It's more like chumming the water. For an extra $2,000, I can invite you to our little get-together next month. So it's this ongoing charge, over, promising things that aren't realistic. And it's happening everywhere in our industry. And like I said, hit the pause button. It may not be them, it may be you. You, as a business owner, may not even be ready because you have all this stuff going on in your day. You're the banker, going right back to that. You're the internet person, you're the receptionist, you're the office manager, you're the tech, you're the mechanic. Okay? Your days are filled. How in the world are you going to add something else to your schedule when you can't even handle the stuff that you're doing now? Something has to give. You need to come to the realization that you can't do it yourself. Systems. How many people here know about systems? You hear it all the time. Well, you need to work on your systems. Well, what is systems? What is that? What is systems? We hear it all the time. It's kind of like the carrot. Well, how's your systems going? Well, I don't know, bro. You know, my systems are pretty rough right now. Oh, yeah? I had a system last week. It was kind of rough myself. What the hell are they talking about? Systems. Who can we trust on the internet, folks? And we get upset when Hackman99 from Delaware, that's been in business for 3 months, his pa bought him a rig, bought him everything that he needed, and he's offering advice to you that you got 7 years in the industry. But we're so hypnotized and so focused on social media, we're sitting there reading and taking advice from this guy. Come to find out that he works for Avon or something part-time. He's not even a washer. But we buy into that. So today we're going to kind of pull all this stuff apart and see what's under the hood. Where you can wake up, hopefully tomorrow, look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? That Los guy from EBC, he's a crazy son of a gun, but you know what? He made sense. He's not getting sugar-coated. He didn't try to sell EBC. I'm not here to sell you soap. I don't care about that. There's too many of you contractors that are sitting here. You're worth several million. You're worth millions. You're worth millions. All of you guys are worth and capable of pulling in millions of dollars as a contractor. But you're stuck.
Hey, Carlos.
Go ahead, guys.
You should have followed up on the systems thing. And no judging or anything. Is there anyone here that doesn't understand what systems are? Just raise your hand. If you don't know, if you don't have a really good grasp of it, okay, it's basically the most efficient way to do whatever it is you're trying to do. Right? Whether that's ordering equipment, paying bills, paying employees, say a specific job you do. What is the first thing you do when you roll up to that house? You know, it's a ballet that our guys do. One guy is hooking up the supply reel. One guy's talking to the customer while the other guy's doing it. He's pulling out hose. When this one's done with the customer, he's pulling out their hose. They're washing up a 3,000 square foot home in 30 minutes. They're collecting their 350 and they're gone. That's a system.
Kind of like paying $5 online and going to 5 different stores.
Yeah, that's a system. And wherever you're stuck in your business at, that's a system that needs to be looked at and thought about and dealt with.
Exactly. And we go into systems a little bit later. We kind of hit all the main parts of the systems and kind of throw the mirror up in front of Bill and say, is this you? Is this what you're dealing with? And again, we have this metamorphosis in the industry that we just go on Facebook and some guy or some lady, we expect them to solve our problems. And we expect it now. We don't ask, we demand it. If pressure washing friends won't give me the answer, then I'm going over the power wash community. We trot on over there. Type of question. We're not satisfied with the answers. Sometimes we'll get a contractor that will spell out the reality and the hard truth. You need to get off your ass and work. That's how you're going to make it. Well, I don't want to do that. So I'm going over the pressure washing resource group now. Because I didn't like the answers I got there. And then we just bounce around until we find that Avon seller that gives us the answer that we want to hear. that makes us warm and fuzzy because I don't want to have to get up at 4 in the morning to do this. I want to sleep in. It's Saturday. You're not a contractor. You're just looking for a free ride. That's the reality. So we want to look inward versus outward because it's about you, not them. Scott, you have a point.
Just back to what he said. When I started a big contract, it was a $4 million a year contract. From January 1st to March 31st, I never slept in my own bed. I had a hot set up in my office and I was at work for 24 hours a day, just in case something went down.
And this is a guy that really, to be honest with you, doesn't have to work anymore. He's reached that level where, again, I talked about the mentor that I look forward to. We all need mentors. Scott's one of my mentors. I've known Scott for 20 plus years. And he's never steered me wrong. We butted heads. He gave me some advice that I didn't like because I wanted to sleep in on Saturday. But the reality of it is that I had to look at it and say, you know what? He's right. There's no easy rides. You want to hit that 2 million mark, that $500,000, wherever you're at, you got to work. No soap, no group, no association, no business partner, no wife, no neighbor, no family member is going to get you there. You have to be accountable to what you do with your business, period. If you want to spend money with someone that supposedly is an expert, hats off. But when it fails because you didn't do the required work to put in place what he tried to teach you, don't blame anybody else but yourself. Ready to hit that one over there. Let's go back to day one in business. How many here were frustrated their first year in a business? Everybody should be raising their hand. If you weren't frustrated, then I advise you just go ahead and walk up and quietly excuse yourself from this class because you are special. How many were nervous? Big step. How many left a full-time, good-paying job to venture into being an entrepreneur? Right here, me too. I was nervous. My wife, are you sure, honey? And I hesitated. There was a hesitation. I said, yeah, I think I can do this. We've all been there. Lack of confidence. We didn't know anything. How many here knew everything about pressure washing day one, starting off the gate? Come on, raise your hands. There has to be one. You get the lucky prize at the end of the talk. Right? So we didn't know anything. We didn't know what we didn't know. We were greenhorns. No support. The only support we got was probably from our wife or our husband. And a few family friends that we talked about at the bar. Yeah, I think about starting a pressure washing business. What? What you gonna do? Oh, we clean rocks for a living. That's what we do. We clean rocks. Is it concrete rock? Mm-hmm. And you had tons of questions and no answers. Go back, again, Instagram, social media, Facebook, whatever. When you were a new contractor and you kind of went on Facebook and you did your first introduction as I'm new in the industry and I have a question, right? We were kind of nervous about it. And maybe only got 2 or 3 comments or responses. And the big one is, did you use the search button? Right? Everybody's saying, use the search button. You're a newbie. Yeah, I don't want to talk to you. You haven't earned your stripes yet, man. So that's what we had to deal with. And you didn't have a skill set or lack thereof. The only thing you knew about pressure washing is don't use what color tip? Red. That's a big no-no. Don't ever use the red tip. So that was day one. Yes, sir. You used red tip?
You use red tip for your pressure gauge. Pressure test and everything out the tip.
Oh.
Stays in the box.
Day one. Day one going into business. Yeah.
I have a funny story about no support. Literally, I've been in business about 2 or 3 years, and And I grew up really, really poor. I mean, we went bed regularly with no food. My wife grew up the same way. She had a single mom. She grew up in the backseat of a car. They were homeless most of the time growing up. So we both did not come from money. And I've been in business about 3 years. I'm just starting to make it. Now my oldest sister came to me and said, Scott, when are you going to give up this silly dream of owning your own business and just going to give you a job like everyone else? About 15 years later, my sweet dear oldest sister came to me for business advice, and she decided owning her own business wasn't that bad to do. And she did not do a single thing I told her. She failed in about 3 years. Well, let's see. There was no internet when I started my business. It comes naturally. I don't have to dial in. I had my wife. My wife was my biggest fan. She always has been. And she's sometimes the one that said, kicked my butt and said, hey, you gotta get to work. And she's sometimes the one that panicked when we lost a big account and said, what are we gonna do? And I had to keep my butt out the door and sell some more. Good deal.
One of the things you'll see throughout the PowerPoint presentation is affirmations. I sprinkle these in all of the talks that I do. It's affirmations about you, about life, about society, about how you are today. Just real quick statements about reality. One of them is, I remember that guy that quit. Me neither. None of you are quitters. You wouldn't be here if you're on the verge of quitting. Or maybe you are, and you're kind of throwing that Hail Mary pass right now. That little bit, that sliver of hope that's going to keep you in the game. No matter how bad you feel that the chips are down, don't give up. Don't give up. You're going through something right now, for whatever the circumstances are, for whatever the reasons, you'll get through it. You'll get through it. So don't ever quit. Our whole life we were told you can't. You can't do this. You can't do that. If you do this, this will happen. As a little kid, little girl, little boy, we were trained to think certain ways. We were taught that you can and can't do things. We blame circumstances on things that we are into right now. We procrastinate. How many here procrastinate? Yeah. We get tired, we'll put it off till tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes. Looks like it's going to rain. I may have to postpone my accounts for the next day. Even though in the back of your mind is like, I can get them done. But we put off. We're programmed a certain way of doing and thinking. And from as a little kid, all the way up to the present time, that message has been pounded and pounded and pounded into us, not only from our significant others, but by social media, by people in the industry. Don't rock the boat. Well, this is how we always did it. Why do you want to change things? How come? Why? You can't. Every single day, 24/7, that negative message gets pounded away. No wonder you're frustrated. 7 years ago, an individual